So it had finally come around, a rainy day, but it didn't dampen our enthusiasm for our long-awaited workshop with Midlands Partnership Foundation Trust, the launch of our new resources exploring children and young people's mental health. It felt special to launch this as part of the National Awareness Week. We had worked in collaboration to crowdsource the new scenarios and poems, including using Padlet. Have you tried Padlet? It's great. We tried to use all sorts of creative methods of engagement. Several people involved in the project have spoken on my podcast, and it really helps draw people in. We use Sway newsletters to share developments. People become intrigued and want to be part of it. It was great to meet the table facilitators and explain how it all works. What mental health needs is more sunlight, more candour, and more unashamed conversation, says Glenn Close, and that is what we aim to provide. We started off by showing a fantastic short film made by some young people in Dorset. What was it like to walk in their shoes? Yvonne Newbold has been a big part of this project, helping us hear the authentic voices of parents and carers. We were so sorry that Yvonne couldn't join us on the day.
Hello, my name's Yvonne Newbold, and I'm so sorry that I'm not able to be with you today. I've been looking forward to this for months, but I know you're going to have a great day with some really interesting discussions. Today is all about supporting children, young people and their families. Families are so important. The fabric of our society is built on the success of individual families in every single community. Families always have to come first, and that's why I can't be with you today, because this week my family's facing some quite difficult issues together. What I love about these Who's Shoes events with the Midlands Partnership team is that they're all about families too, and talking about how to make things better for every child, every teenager, every parent, every brother and every sister in this community. I know that you know this stuff too, and I can't wait to see Anna's visual representation of what you guys are about to talk about today. Just think family, and you really can't go wrong. Have a great day. Take care then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Like any complex service, there were plenty of challenges, but some great people coming together, working across organisational boundaries to help overcome them. Lise was scare-sighted.
I'm scare-sighted, so it's a mixture of scared and excited, but we use that a lot in our house.
The team had come up with a great icebreaker that soon had people laughing and exchanging their superpowers.
Anybody else?
Some people had played Who's Shoes before. The dog was nodding, but the majority hadn't. So it was time to get stuck in.
Thankfully, MPFT, North Staffordshire have been doing it across Japan.
Whether school blame us or not, we have.
So we're here live in the event in Staffordshire, Who Shoes event, talking about children's mental health today. Wow, what an event, such a fantastic turnout. Theming the post-it notes. And it was still raining outside. It was great to meet Molly, who would be showing her film later, and talk to Lise about how Whose Shoes could help Molly's work. Anna was so busy, recording all the conversations in a truly authentic way. That looks like being an iconic image, Anna. We're going to be using that one.
On a balance. Balancing both your medical and your social.
Yep. A well-deserved lunch and time to relax and network.
So we've got some thought-provoking, motivating, fun, good, interesting, insightful, enlightening, emotional, thought-provoking. There's a few of you feeling tired. I know I'm feeling tired, running around getting all those post-it notes and trying to make sense of them all. Reflective, necessary, challenging, busy.
So yeah, hello, my name's Molly, you may know me, most of you probably do. On the screen is basically a video that I did back in 2021.
Molly's film about her mental health journey was truly inspirational, and now she's working helping other young people transition from children's mental health services to adult mental health services, CAMS to AMS.
And this is the very beginning of it, and I want it to be co-produced, and I want it to be really authentic and organic, which is a lot harder than you'd think, and it's something that I'm learning a lot. So I've got a couple of these, so if anyone's interested, please do take a copy and have a read, and let me know what you think. So yeah, that's me at the moment.
I've got schools up here because there's this relationship with schools, and of course, you know, I guess that they fit into the pathway somewhere, but it feels like there's a lot of work to do in schools to be able to support people. There are people that don't want to be at school. But it's interesting, again, you know, this is the Whose Shoes thing of being able to hear different perspectives, and someone was saying, but there's so much that schools have to juggle. and they're trying to juggle this. Are they going to be able to do the job well? But a recognition that there's really a huge need to be able to support young people and children in schools well. Gatekeeping, the impact of an assessment and whether or not a school is going to accept you, whether or not those assessments and the diagnosis and the labels that you build up over time are going to close doors for you in the future because of the stereotypes. And therefore, there's stuff about awareness and raising awareness, getting people to understand, you know, what it means to have autism, what it means to experience mental ill health, what it means to experience anxiety and need support. So so there was raising awareness both from a public, right, for a big broad public awareness down to awareness within professionals as well. You know, there's so many different diagnoses or things that will affect young people's mental health. So one of the things that was highlighted as a need for professionals to know more about was fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. So stuff that's affected children and young people from before they were born.
So here are some of the key themes that we heard. Schools play a big role in young people's lives and have a big role to play supporting young people's mental health. But they're also faced with lots of competing agendas which they have to balance. Being able to access services is hindered by stereotypes and blame. There needs to be clarity of information. CAMS is not just one service. Communication and effective listening are key. It's important to make sure that you're the right professional to be able to make the biggest difference. The referral and assessment processes can lead to long waiting lists, thresholds, having to meet criteria, gaps in services, which can mean that some young people get lost.
You need to take time and get to know me.
Discharge from services can be scary. It can feel like you've been thrown in the deep end or rejected. We need to check in post-discharge just to make sure everything is okay. Throughout their journey, children and young people need to feel safe. Making sure the appropriate support networks are available is essential. This includes support for parents and professionals too.
It's actually my favourite part of the day because I talked at the beginning about how I want action to come from these events.
So we invited people to make a pledge. What was it they were passionate about? What could they do to make a difference?
So those who made a pledge, and what a great way, we haven't done this before, to be able to put them on the Menti so that you're just anonymously adding pledges to the board. And I've just had a quick look through those, so I just randomly picked the one in the middle. I pledge to wherever possible listen to and support children who may feel like their voice is either not heard or ignored and help them to feel understood by others. That's a really great pledge, and it's a day-to-day pledge. It's not, it's something that kind of lives with you. So this is incredibly optional, and there might be somebody in the room who's so passionate about the pledge that they've written down that they'd like to stand up or stay sitting down and share it with everybody in the room. And that's kind of what happened with Amy that I mentioned earlier, that she sort of jumped up and it led to this connection. So I don't think it's going to be something big, it's just something that's from the heart is the key. Is there anybody who would like to do that? Yes.
I would like to grow up and be, because I'm going to being a teacher and stuff, I'm going to grow up and be the teacher that children can go to and never treat a child or anybody so just every day different due to their disability or mental health problem.
Thank you not only you for saying that, for having the courage, and not only to stand up and tell everybody, but be the first person. That's brilliant, yeah? So I'd like to know if you've got a favourite colour. Pink. And is your favourite colour a dark kind of pink? A light pink. Like that colour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
So that is a little bit of Hershey's magic, because I honestly didn't know that you got pink croc shoes. And that's how things happen, so brilliant, thank you. So is there anybody else, now that you know there were goodies?
Not just the issues. So it's my pledge, but I also like people's health with my pledge as well. So I guess it's a bit of a sales pitch as well. So my pledge is about I want to drive forward and improve our current website. So I think our website at the moment for CAMS isn't great. And I think we could impart a lot more wisdom in terms of help for young people, parents, but also professionals in terms of getting it right. So I would like to pledge to say I'd like to drive it forward, but also to welcome anyone that wants to be part of that as well to come and help me to drive forward. So perhaps Lisa say yes, definitely, let's go for it. But also perhaps other people can feel support. And I think we just need a lot of support around making that happen. So that would be perfect.
The Trust are getting a new website, aren't they, at the moment? So it's got to be exciting, yeah. Yeah.
Lady here that we love.
Right, so I pledge to support my daughter as a carer to change the services and mental health for the better, no matter how small.
So already we've got pledges from young people, from staff, from parents. That's starting to bounce around the room, and I haven't even had a chance to ask you what your favourite colour is. Green. We had the green one.
I've got a green croc on my face.
And what's your favourite colour? A bit blue? Yeah. Yes. Blue? You got blue? Oh, thank you. Very well. So, we haven't got time for a lot of this, but you get the feel that there's some really amazing pledges, and I think is there anything else share their pledge? Yes.
A lot of croc. I wrote 3, but I'm not going to read against 3 of them out because I couldn't stop writing them down. But I will continue to empower parents to be able to advocate for their children and speak out on behalf of parents who are blamed, so that I can help them to find their voice.
It's such a shame that Yvonne Newbold can't be here today, because so much of her work is around parent blaming and, you know, switching things around. And we've got this thing that's come very strongly through Yvonne's contribution to the project, the ninja parents, the parents who actually cope with all of this stuff and keep going for their children, keep going for their families. So I think to be in the shoes of parents, I mean, I think someone who left earlier today who got to take their child to some kind of interview, and it's like smack in the middle of this event. And she said, in some ways, as a member of staff, it gives me an insight into being a parent, that, you know, whatever you're doing in your day-to-day lives, something comes along, a healthcare appointment, and you have to go at that appointed time, and it cuts across everything. So the more, I think that's what I'm proud of with this work, the work that we're doing to kind of look at, well, what does actually make things more flexible? What makes them fit into people's lives? And some of it is just the way we're used to doing things around here, you know, that we can actually change things quite easily and make a big difference. But until you understand how difficult it is for the other person, then what's the problem? So it's trying to make those connections. Have you got a favourite colour?
No. I've actually got them blue crocs somewhere.
Not on one foot. Yeah, please don't take the Crocs off the table, because the next time we play the game, you can take the ones that Jill's giving out now.
The ones up to... Yes, please.
So mine was, I pledged to keep taking part in opportunities to join the team and attend events so I can grow and eventually become a part of making a change to
that similar to Molly in terms of being a young person and seeing things that inspire you and wanting to learn from others? So that's where the networking comes in. So at this point, I'm definitely going to light my lemon light bulbs. Okay? So lemon light bulbs only get lit. Okay, I've got a big thing about lemons. If you Google Who Shoes, you will find a lot about love and lemons. Okay, but it's when things start to like spark across the room, because it's only when those connections start to be made. So perhaps you'd like to get together. We had a workshop recently where it was just so moving. It was in Birmingham in January, and a deaf woman was talking about how she thought there should be more BSL in healthcare because it was just so hard. And it was very similar, the same kind of session to this. And I said to her at the end, she was quite emotional. I said, well, do you think there's anyone who can help you with that? And she said, no. And literally the woman sitting on the next table started signing. It was so emotional, and talking about her sister who was profoundly deaf and how she was trying to help her. Now that's a connection I can't make. I mean, it almost looked as if it was set up, it was just so perfect. But the fantastic people you've got in this room will all have stories, will all have things they're passionate about. And you know, if you can build on those connections, that's how things will happen. Well, I've got a few badges as well. I definitely would like to give this to Molly. Okay.
Oh, she got a JFD.
Yeah. So show us, Lise, how.
I wear mine with so much pride. Not meant the tune figures that wear it. Yeah.
So this is the ultimate Who Shoes prize. Okay. It's the JFDI badges. Just do it. Okay. So it's the people who just things happen.
Oh, that was so lovely.
So what has Who Shoes enabled? I'm really chuffed to see connections, networking, inspiration, reflection and understanding coming out as the top feedback. And people saying they'd love to be part of similar events in the future. And I'd like to give a shout out to the participation team. It was their energy that made this event such a success.
C1H participation team. We're very new. We only started in November, so please go and see us.
So I've gathered this impromptu gang at the end of the Who Shoes workshop in Staffordshire because they've all come up and said quite nice things, and I thought, well, somehow perhaps to capture a little bit of that energy. So I've got all these wonderful people. Anna's used to this. So Anna, start by telling us what you've been doing today.
I have been creating this record behind, and I have to say there have been masses of post-it notes, but the quality of them and it feels like I got a real sense there were some really deep and meaningful conversations happening, really sensitive topics being discussed and written and recorded in a really respectful way, so that makes my job much easier.
It was a special event, wasn't it? Because we go to a lot of different events. This was a special event. And Molly came up to me and she's just the real deal, a young person that wants real co-production. And
yeah, well, when I first came to this event, you know, I didn't really know what to expect.
Who does?
Yeah, I'd heard a little bit about it. I knew it was about a board game, but then when I started playing the board game, I realised it was about so much more. You know, I realised that this is what true co-production is and means and happens in practice. You know, I've learnt so much just from this short session. You know, Jill has been absolutely brilliant. She's given me so many tips already.
I'll give you some more.
Yes, yeah, keep that coming.
I love it.
Yeah, made loads of networking opportunities and just can't wait to keep going on this journey through co-production in the NHS in general and wider, you know.
And wider, and you will do. So, yay! So, and then these people came.
So I think we had a really useful day, didn't we, talking about things that are quite challenging at times.
So. Yeah.
It's been really useful as someone who I suppose leads a team of practitioners, but isn't a practitioner myself, to hear it from both sides as well, to see about what we get right, and also, but also what we can do a bit better as well.
And it's been fab to hear you explain how the cogs are working in the background for the services and what's actually happening. It's very easy to get frustrated as a parent, not at the actual services, but sometimes at the length of wait times and why that can be, and how when you move from one part of the service to another, it's been great to have that pulled apart to understand more so that I can then give that information to other parents. And I said a massive thank you to Jill as well, because this has been really, really positive to be a part of. So thank you so much for bringing me. It's been really, it's given me a lot of hope and a lot of faith that change is coming and how things are going to move forward. Luckily, we're at the tail end now. My daughter's had a diagnosis, but it's been years in the making. And the frustration, seeing how much it's affected my daughter, and also as her parent, the frustration and the pain and the anguish has been awful. And now to see this happening and to know that change is coming, and it is going to be a much more fluid, collective system that's going to be there to support, as I was saying, God forbid if my daughter decides to have children herself, there's going to be greater service in the future there than what we currently have now. So it gives me a lot of hope, and thanks.
Yeah, I love that word hope, and it's such a shame that Yvonne Newbold Hope isn't here today, so I want to give a mention to Yvonne. Yeah, we will, and she's been so influential in this, and I know that you love her, don't you, Rach?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Jill and Yvonne, they're my heroes. But I have to say today, I think I've gained a new hero as well, because we had a young person on our table that was absolutely inspirational and so insightful. So I know there's professionals in the room that are linked with that particular young person. So I'm gonna follow that up and see, can we utilise the amazing insight that she has to help other young people, to
passion and drive she's got
to give that peer support.
Yeah. Isn't that brilliant? So I mean, I don't get to sit around the tables, but I know
you've got work to do.
I know, of course. But I know that there are conversations that are happening with different, with people with different perspectives. But what you've just, between you, have just described is exactly that. Those different perspectives as a parent, as someone who's used services, as someone that is responsible for providing services, and being able just to get your head around those different perspectives.
We were pulling apart generational trauma at one point, and how we've been able to see that going back and moving forward, and how she's trying to break those chains now moving, and with her own issues as well. What a phenomenal young woman.
And to be able to have that time to have those kinds of conversations,
exactly.
You just don't get that opportunity to do.
That's why this is really important.
To get those young people into the room, and we're going to let Holly loose with a copy of Whose Shoes. I can't But you can't plan this stuff in advance. It's just who comes along and what conversations you have. So thank you for this opportunity.
Put on here, walking their shoes. Looking at these eyes to change your views. Step out of yourself, see the world anew. Whose shoes will you choose? Whose shoes? Whose shoes? It's time to take a walk.